If you can't find true love, work hard, make money, and enjoy your single life in peace. Nobody has ever died from being single.
Picture this scenario. A 25-year-old woman posts online asking if it's pathetic to want love and a boyfriend. Within hours, thousands of comments flood in from other women sharing similar struggles. Meanwhile, across social media platforms, single men are posting about their gym achievements, business ventures, and solo travel adventures. What's happening here represents one of the most dramatic shifts in modern dating culture that nobody wants to talk about. The traditional narrative has always been that men desperately need women to feel complete, while women hold all the romantic power. But something fundamental has changed in recent years, and women are starting to notice. Men aren't just comfortable being single anymore. They're actively choosing it, and they're thriving in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew about male happiness. Let's dive into why this shift is happening and what it means for the future of relationships. The answer might surprise you, and it definitely explains why dating feels so different now compared to just a decade ago. For generations, society told us that men without women were lost souls wandering aimlessly through life. The bachelor was portrayed as either a playboy avoiding commitment or a sad figure eating frozen dinners alone. This stereotype was so ingrained that we never questioned whether it reflected reality. But here's what's actually happening in the lives of single men today. They're waking up in apartments they've decorated exactly how they want. They're spending their paychecks on hobbies, investments, and experiences without needing approval from anyone. They're building businesses, hitting personal fitness goals, and developing friendships based on shared interests rather than social obligations. The financial aspect alone tells a compelling story.
Marriage is not for happiness.
What?
If you want to be happy, remain single. That is free advice. If you want to be happy, remain what? Single.
Single men today have complete control over their income and spending decisions. They're not splitting costs on things they don't want or need. They're not compromising on major purchases or life decisions. This financial freedom translates into a sense of autonomy that many find incredibly satisfying. More importantly, these men are experiencing something that previous generations of bachelors rarely had: genuine contentment with their single status. They're not sitting around waiting for the right woman to complete their lives. Instead, they're actively building lives that feel complete already. This shift becomes even more interesting when we examine what modern relationships actually offer men compared to what they used to provide. Historically, marriage and long-term relationships came with clear benefits for men. A wife managed the household, provided emotional support, and helped establish social status within the community. The roles were defined, and both partners generally understood what they were contributing to the relationship. Today's relationship dynamics are vastly different. Many men find themselves navigating constantly changing expectations without clear guidelines about what constitutes success in a modern partnership. They're expected to be emotionally available but not too needy, financially successful but not obsessed with money, confident but not arrogant, supportive but not controlling. These shifting expectations, combined with the additional responsibilities that modern relationships often require, have led many men to ask a simple question: what am I actually gaining from this arrangement? When they compare the peace and simplicity of their single lives to the complexity and uncertainty of modern dating, the single life often wins. The reaction from some women to this trend has been particularly revealing. Instead of examining what might be driving men away from relationships, There's often an immediate assumption that these men are somehow defective or afraid of commitment. Comments like, "That's why you'll always be single," or "You'll never find a woman with that attitude," miss the point entirely. These aren't insults to men who are genuinely happy being single. They're actually confirmations that these men have made the right choice for themselves. When someone threatens you with the very outcome you've chosen and are enjoying, it reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of your priorities and values.
Stay single and invest in yourself. God will bring someone into your life who truly deserves you.
The psychology behind why contentedly single men are so attractive to women is fascinating. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't need them, because it suggests those men are choosing to be with them rather than settling out of desperation or loneliness. A man who has built a satisfying life independently represents a challenge and an opportunity to be part of something already successful. This creates an interesting paradox in the dating market. The men who are most appealing to women are often the ones least interested in changing their relationship status. They've developed standards and boundaries based on protecting the lifestyle they've created for themselves. They're not willing to compromise their peace of mind or independence for just anyone. Some relationship experts point to studies showing that socially connected people live longer and healthier lives. While this research is valuable, it doesn't account for the quality of those social connections or the specific stresses that come with modern romantic relationships. A man who has strong friendships, family relationships, and professional connections may already be receiving the social benefits that research identifies as crucial for well-being. The key insight here is that men are increasingly distinguishing between meaningful social connections and romantic relationships that drain their energy. They're not isolating themselves from all human contact. They're being selective about which relationships add value to their lives versus which ones create unnecessary stress and complications. What we're witnessing is essentially a market correction in the dating world. For years, men were told they needed to pursue relationships at almost any cost, even if those relationships weren't particularly fulfilling or beneficial. Now, many men are applying the same cost-benefit analysis to dating that they might apply to any other major life decision. This doesn't mean these men are incapable of love or commitment. Many of them would be open to the right relationship with the right person under the right circumstances. But they're no longer willing to enter relationships that feel like net losses in terms of their overall life satisfaction and well-being.
When people can't control you, they will try to control how other people see you, and let them live with whatever delusional narrative they have made up about you inside of their head.
The implications of this trend extend far beyond individual dating choices. We're looking at a fundamental shift in how society structures itself around romantic partnerships. When a significant portion of the population actively chooses single life and finds fulfillment in that choice, it challenges assumptions about everything from housing markets to retirement planning to social policies. Perhaps most importantly, this trend is forcing everyone to examine what relationships actually offer in the modern world. Instead of pursuing partnerships out of social expectation or fear of being alone, people are increasingly asking whether specific relationships actually enhance their lives. For women who are struggling to understand why dating feels so different now, this context is crucial. The men who seem most emotionally unavailable or commitment phobic may actually be the ones who have done the most work on themselves. They've created lives they genuinely enjoy, and they're not willing to compromise that satisfaction for relationships that don't offer clear mutual benefits. This shift represents a new chapter in how we think about romance, commitment, and personal fulfillment. Men who are truly happy being single aren't afraid of relationships. They're just selective about which ones are worth their time and energy. Understanding this distinction might be the key to navigating modern dating successfully, whether you're looking for love or learning to appreciate the single life yourself. The conversation about men preferring to be single isn't really about men versus women, or who holds more power in dating. It's about individuals making conscious choices about how they want to structure their lives and what kinds of relationships serve their long-term happiness and goals.